Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Rabble. My name is Brian, and tonight I am joined, this morning. It's usually an evening thing, but no, this morning I'm joined by another well-known Rabble contributor. Almost been a stalwart the last few weeks. He's been here, there, and everywhere. But welcome, Jamie. How's you?
I'm good. Just off the phone to me. Buttering me up. I'm like, you don't butter me up. What are you wanting? And they try to get me to do something else. I said, I've done about 4 or 5 things this week. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Actually, my last day today, and I'm so glad I'm doing this, but it's my last day in my work. And I've worked with this company for 15 and a half years. So I'm getting bombarded with people coming and tell me things, and I'm getting emotional then. So I was like, I'm so glad I'm taking a wee half hour out to get away from it all.
They're all going to miss you.
Oh, what, man? So yeah, so I'm getting set. I've got a night out tonight, so I've got a wee leaving do for me. So I'm getting set for that later on.
Good stuff. So obviously we're doing the favourite shirts now. Yes. We get people to select their top 5, and then the one that they least like. And Jamie, you've come up with, I would say, looking at the selection that you've picked, it's around. Obviously, it's all good. I would say it's all good memories with the shirts you've selected.
Yeah. Would you? I think a lot of people might be surprised with the one I've selected as my worst. You know what I'm like?
Alan's going to have an absolute fit.
I was watching it the other night, Alan's one, and I was thinking, is he having a laugh? But then see the reasons that I pick them. I don't go down. Some it's a bit like, because we won things you wearing that strip. I don't feel like that. Well, we can talk about that when we come to it, but mine's is more about how I felt as a wee guy wearing those strips and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a weirdo like that.
No, as I say, this is all about everybody's personal reasons. They've either seen them win trophies, their first game. It could be absolutely any reason. It's your sort of show at the end of the day, and it's your reasons for picking these shirts. So we'll dive into the first one now. A lot of folk, I actually really like this away top, but it's probably not high on a lot of people's lists. How come it's made your top 5?
I don't know. I just always thought the red and the navy blue together, just like that. Actually, two of my choices are strips that have had the kind of, it's not a lapel, but the kind of colour just on the inside of the under there. For some reason, whatever, this shirt reminds me of Van Bronckhorst, and this shirt just reminds me of Rangers playing. And he was just a master on the ball, wasn't he? And what a player to have. And yeah, the shirt reminds me of it was a Nike one, wasn't it? 98, 99.
Yep.
Shirt was from there it's there. And the shirt, I mean, what age would I have been? I'm 82. I would have been about 16 when that shirt came out. And
so
I just
99ish.
98, 99.
Right,
so I would have been about 16 at that time. And I'm a weirdo for the material.
Yes, so, but a lot of people are.
And I always remember that shirt. It was like durable, like with it. I seen Alan doing his, and see the orange and navy blue one. That was a beautiful shirt, but was renowned for getting catches in it and getting holes in it and all that. It degraded. Whereas I always remember that shirt lasting forever. And just looking back on it, basic design, but I just love that wee bit, the wee touch of navy blue with the red.
Yeah,
beautiful shirt, man. It really is.
And I don't know why, but I've always liked the McEwen's Lager as the sponsor. It just sits well with the shirt. I don't know why, does it?
But do you think that takes you back to when you were younger?
Yeah.
And everything seemed better back then. Like I was one of the wee guys that my mum and dad took to Greaves, and you would be in the shop with the assistant for 2 hours going through, and they would have every shirt out. I had every football top under the sun. And,
but no, I must have. No, it was my cat. Sorry.
Oh, was it? I thought somebody was celebrating or something.
No, it's a thing of beauty. And Nike were blessed with Nike, weren't we?
Yeah, we had some cracking tops because we'd went through the Umbro, Admiral, all that kind of stuff.
Adidas, Nike,
Adidas and Nike. they're the number one company, aren't they? So,
Aye.
I love that strip. It always reminds me of Van Bronckhorst for some reason, but yeah, love the navy blue with the red.
Yeah.
It's a belter.
Nice shirt. Very nice shirt. And I would say a strong selection for your first one.
Yeah. Well,
now,
I had 2 away strips in my bot at number 5, and we had to cut it. So, but I definitely think that was a plainer design. Definitely a cracker.
Yeah. Now, this one you've next selected. Now, a lot of people could have this as their number one. And I'm not surprised it's made your top 5. A lot of good memories with this one, wasn't it?
What are we talking? 94 to 96 in it. I mean, again, I was even younger then, so you're even more in awe of the players, and you're talking Gaza and stuff like that with this strip. You're talking, it's all the big wigs.
It needs no introduction, does it?
Nah, unbelievable strip. Love the design in the background. Brian, you're going to kill me. I actually had a match-worn long sleeve version of this strip. I was told it was Charlie Miller's. I don't know. It was like number 12 or number 14 in the back yet. I got it from. I played boys club football just locally, and one of my teammates was a Celtic fan, and his dad knew somebody that knew somebody, and he gave me it. It was an unbelievable. By the way, I don't know. It might have even not had a sponsor on it. I can't remember. It was an absolute thing of, and I must have been 12 at the time. Obviously, it was too big for me. But see, the older I got, and it was always in my cupboard. See, by the time I was like 16 or 17, I would just wear it to 5s.
Yeah.
Wear it to my training.
Oh,
I don't know where it went, mate. I think it just got binned. But that thing would be worth an absolute mint right now.
Yeah.
It was an love that strip. Reminds me of your Gazas, your Charlie Millers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it came from a bit left field with the design in the background. See all the RFCs all over it.
Aye, it was very new.
Before.
It was very new, wasn't it? All the crests and the design and Rangers written all over it. It was very unique.
Yeah, and that was the time as well with Adidas, that collar as well. A lot of their t-shirts and all that kind of stuff came in.
That was my only downfall of this top, was the neck.
Yeah,
the only thing I didn't. It was a bit sort of, I don't know, pull the necky. It was a bit tight at times.
And it was not one of the first, but getting almost like taking the name of the company away and having the crest right in the middle.
Right, smack bang.
Massive big crest as well, which I really liked. Kind of old-fashioned, big, massive RFC crest. Because you'll see other ones, it's not like that. The badge is a lot smaller and stuff, particularly when you probably come to my next few ones. But I just liked the fact that the Rangers badge was massive on there, almost like silver glistening on the shirt. But it reminds me of Gaza and Charlie Miller and stuff like that, and the 9-in-a-row era. But I probably picked it because I had that shirt as a long sleeve, match worn, official. Mate, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I was saying to my mum and dad, nothing. That's binned basically. All my old shirts are all binned. Every shirt under the sun. Didn't know they were going to be as valuable, as well sought after, or people putting in frames and all sorts nowadays. But back then, you didn't even think about anything like that. But love that shirt. Great memories.
Yeah, as I say, I think everybody's abiding memory of that is when Mr. Gascoigne stepped out of the front door at Ibrox when he signed that day. Yeah. The bleached blonde hair, and I think everybody that was the riot then, wasn't it?
Everybody wanted their hair like Gaza. I had my hair like Gaza. Reminds me as well when he booked the ref. Was it Les Morton? I don't know. He booked the ref, wasn't it?
Yeah. Against Hibs.
Wearing that shirt against Hibs, and it was, he was all sweaty, and he booked the ref. Everybody's laughing. The ref booked him back, man. Ridiculous, wasn't it? But all my shirts just remind me of when you were younger.
Yeah.
Just better times, innit?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, this is a personal favourite of mine, this one. I think this is... Yeah, I love this away top.
I thought long and hard about this being my number 2. And I just went with another strip for my number 2, which... so close to having this and the other one as my 1 and 2, because that takes me back to, and it's probably, I don't want it to be the same chat as my favourite shirt, but this takes me back to I probably was only, 6 or 7 or 8 at the time. Back
so
then,
pretty much your first memory of Rangers.
Yeah, my first memories of Rangers and my second ever strip. And being absolutely... Football was life back then. All you done was play football. All you done was... And Rangers were... I mean, my dad was a season ticket holder. I was getting to games when I was that age. Like, always just remember, like, running. Like, my dad and his mates would be going to the game, and you'd be going, holding his horn, and they would walk so fast after parking the car, I would have to run. You would be jogging over Glasgow to get to Ibrox, and they're just all walking, thinking, "Gonna slow down a wee bit. I'm a wee gal, 6 or 7 here. I'm having to jog to keep up with all these men." And this shot just reminds me of it. And this shot doesn't remind me of a player. It doesn't. I can't even really remember us wearing it, but I remember having it as my second ever shot. Oh, look at that, man! It's just like back then we had never seen a shot like that. And like I said, loving football, absolutely living and breathing football. A team like Monaco were glamorous and a foreign team, and you'd have magazines like Shoot and Match and all that, and you'd have all these wee things, and Subbuteo and all these clubs would appear. Monaco,
Who's that?
France, oh my God! And we brought out a shot like Monaco. It was, I loved the collar as well. See that collar with the wee... Oh, look at it.
The wee red and the blue.
And I've bought that retro Ajax one that I wear, and that's what the collar's like on that. But that shirt, I don't remember MD wearing it. I don't ever remember it. But
Well, it was famously worn, I think, in Davy Cooper's testimonial against Bordeaux.
Yes. Now you're saying that, that's probably the only... That's the only player I remember, the picture of him wearing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the second Ranger strip I ever got. Full kit, of course. Wee tight shorts and all that. But Davy Cooper, that's one that does remind me of Davy Cooper, but it's just it seemed far more glamorous than what we were.
Yeah.
Because it's got the kind of foreign feel about it with the Monaco connection, obviously the same design. But look at that. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, is that an original, Brian?
Yeah, that's a total original. Yeah,
faded a wee bit with the McEwen's lager, but what it is, it's so basic, just such a basic design.
Yeah, but as you say, we had never ever had something like this. We were always sort of, I think, just either white, and then latterly in the 80s we had pinstripe white.
Yeah,
but then this came out and it was totally out of the blue, wasn't it?
It's an absolute belter. Love that strip. And again. I always just remember being a wee guy and the feel of it, so smooth and silky.
Yes.
No, I'll speak to you about that when we get to my worst one, and that's probably the reason I've chosen my worst one. But that material was just silky, and it's weird seeing that because it just takes you back. I mean, what am I talking? Taking me back 30 years, isn't it?
Yeah. But no, it's. I must admit, I'm glad you've picked it in their top 5 because it thoroughly deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Umbro,
at that time, Umbro had some... I mean, Umbro, these shots were unreal.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
You know what else I liked about it, Brian? It was so commercialised now, but that shot was out for like 2 or 3 seasons.
Aye, yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not easy to get now. These, when you're going back to this era, this is when you really start to struggle to get them. Aye, proper, real ones.
Paying a pretty penny for something like that now.
Yeah. But again, that one, I'm just looking at it in the sun there. It's one of those ones that falls foul of the sort of the same as the navy and orange one you were speaking about, baubles
so silky, and a rough fingernail would catch that. Still though, I thought the orange and blue one, I remember that coming out and everybody being up in arms and all the Moz complaining because it just actually just degraded, and you're talking about holes and catches.
Oh,
terrible.
Yeah,
but it was a nice shot, but aye.
Yeah. So number 2 on your list.
Number 2.
This was, I think, Nike's second home top. I think. I dare say there's a game in mind, or is it just the design?
It's more to do with this is weird. This shot, I might be wrong. This shot reminds me of Flo. Don't know why.
Yes.
I don't know why, but it obviously reminds me of that era. But I had this shirt when I went on my first lads' holiday. So there was like 4 teenagers went, and we all wore that shirt to the airport. Every one of us wore that shirt to the airport. We must have been, 18 at the time? 18 or 19 at the time, probably 18, just before I turned 19. And 4 teenagers all went, and there's still a picture on my room wall in my mum and dad's house. They've not redecorated. It's like, oh mate, look at that. Again, I love the red and blue underneath there.
You've got a thing for colours underneath the sleeves, haven't you?
Aye. Didn't like the NTL that much. However, look at that. We all wore that shirt to the airport, and then we all wore it in a night out. And that just reminds me, and that's probably why, it reminds me of my first ever boys' holiday. 14 boys gone holiday to Magaluf, and we all wore that. We all wore that shirt to the airport. See, you think they would do something like that now?
Oh, you would be just wouldn't happen, would it?
You don't see it like that now. But it reminds me of that. It reminds me of obviously better times when we were an absolute force.
Now this would have been I think the Lovencrans final.
Yes.
Would that have been correct?
Well, again, yeah, it was. And again, I chose that with Derek as my most memorable game.
Well, there you go.
And that was Barry Ferguson, Lovencrans, and I don't know why it reminds me of Tor Andre Flo, but that reminds me that's the latest shot I've picked. It is. That's the latest shot.
That's the latest. Yeah. But I think that's very much probably the era I would say that you're brought up in.
Yeah.
Because Alan went heavily from sort of 90s onto the noughties, whereas you went sort of 80s into 90s, and then this one.
And it's weird because I'm not a big shirt wearer or even buyer, which is bad to say, but because I came from a time where I had every football shirt under the sun, like every top you could imagine from every club, any club, I had everything. But when I got to my late teens, early 20s, I stopped buying them probably because they were so expensive, and I would rather have bought a case of beer than a football strip. But that's probably one of the last ones I had. And I thought, again, so durable. Hey, that thing didn't catch or didn't bobble. I don't think.
No, I don't think. No, looking at
top.
it, it's lasted the test of time. I must admit, there's no bobbles. It's not like the other ones.
Love the royal blue with the red under the arms. I don't know why.
I even like the collar there. It's just you've got the white and the red and the blue there. You know,
it's a cracker, and again, reminds me of probably when you thought you were becoming a man, get out drinking and going on holiday with your pals and all that. All wearing Rangers strips today, and I've still got a picture on my wall somebody took in Magaluf, and it's like a laminated picture. We all bought one, and still up my cupboard wall in my mum and dad's spare room now. I should have brought it along. I could have showed it. I'd hear the picture and everything, but that shot just reminds me of going on holiday with my mates, and I think that's why it still sits with me as one best. But the cup final as well, being my greatest ever game.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Mad.
No, it was a great memory and a great game, as you say. Now,
well, we move on to number one, and I'm not having anyone tell me that this isn't the greatest ever Rangers strip. So, do you have on here that chooses? What did Alan choose again?
He picked the navy and blue.
Oh, so he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's off his head.
He picked
this
his navy and blue.
Far the greatest ever Rangers strip ever made, ever worn, and I'll not be having anybody tell me anything else.
You've been very steadfast in this for a long time, haven't you?
Haven't I? This is the greatest ever. Again, takes me back to, it was the first ever strip I got. Takes me back to, there's only one man this strip reminds you of, and it's Ali McCoist.
Yeah.
And I always remember, we had this strip for a couple of seasons. I was what, 5, 6 or 7 probably. I wore this strip. I would not even allow my mum to wash it. I was wearing this strip in shorts and socks every day running about where I lived, playing football every day, wearing this shirt. And
here it is.
That is just, you'll never get a better shirt than that. The design, the wee checks, the feel of it, the colour, the collar. Umbro made some cracking shirts back then, by the way. Ali McCoist, innit? Ali McCoist, number one. It reminds me of a lot of players, obviously, but McCoist.
Mark Walters.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Mark Walters as well, because he's one that I probably didn't put in my greatest ever Rangers team, but he's an unsung hero for me. We had never seen a player. I'd never seen a player like that. He almost came on the scene, and people were like, "What the fuck, man!" Like, I know we had David Cooper prior to that, but Mark Waters was just like, "Whoa, what a monster he was on the ball." But the shirt remains my McCoy's, hands down. I wore that shirt every day. It was the first ever Rangers shirt I had.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best I've ever had, and I always remember everybody had it when I lived in my street.
Yeah.
And one of the boys at the boat, an older guy, had number 9 printed in the back of it. See, back in the 80s, to have a number printed in the back of your shirt.
Oh, that was massive. Yeah.
And this boy kicked about with that shirt with number 9 in the back of it, and everybody was just like, "How did you get that? Where did you get that?" And that was unheard of. And that shirt's that gives me goosebumps looking at that shirt, because it's just, back then we won. Well, we did lose games, right? But I don't ever imagine we did lose games, right? But I don't ever imagine ever being angry with Rangers back then.
No. And I think this shirt was the start of an era, and some of the most amazing cup finals against Aberdeen.
Celtic, Ray Wilkins, am I right here? 5-1.
Yeah,
that game reminds me of that shot. I had me and my mate, Big Richie, used to watch the tapes day after day. We could actually speak. I don't know what tape it was. The 88 season.
88-89.
We could speak that tape. Could speak it. The commentary. Wilkins, and it's mad to think, and I think that's why I've picked it, because it's my first ever shot, and it just reminds me of that was me starting my love affair with Rangers, and it's just I just can't. Amazing.
I must admit, it's going to be high in a lot of people's lists, but I mean, I think
for everybody similar to our ages, Brian, if you were there at that time, it just epitomises everything that we were all about.
Yeah, and it was, as I said before, it was the start of an era. Little did we know that season what was going to come, but this shirt kicked it off, basically. Yeah,
kicked off everything.
But no, a cracking choice.
Number one, without a doubt. I'm not hearing anyone. So anytime anybody comes on, Brian, and they see another shirt, just say to them, "What are you talking about?"
I'll just reference you. I'll say, "There's Jamie's number. Go and speak to him." Now,
contentious, isn't it?
This is a bit of a. I'm not too happy about this.
Well, I'm going to start then, because you know what I'm like. I'm so pessimistic. I could go on for about an hour. This shirt is by far, hands down, the worst shirt that's ever been made for our football club. Right, I'll caveat that because I don't recognise, when we were putting the depths of destruction, any of those shirts. Any of those fucking Puma numbers are straight up Tenants ones and all that, when we were part of the third division.
Blackthorn. Even better, worse than the Blackthorn. Man.
Oh, Blackthorn. Gives me
even worse than the Blackthorns.
I don't recognise them, mate. I'm not taking them into contention. This by far is the worst shirt ever, because one, it followed that shirt. So maybe that's what it is, Brian. Maybe I don't like it because it followed my greatest ever shirt. We went from Umbro to fucking Admiral. Give me a break, man. Secondly, I was one of these wee guys that when I went to school, my mum had to put Lenore or Comfort on my school trousers 5 times before I would wear them, because I couldn't deal with the jagginess. And the material of this shirt is an abomination. Horrendous to wear.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked, but this is the very shirt you're speaking.
It makes me feel all itchy and jaggy even looking at it.
Really?
The Admiral sign. Oh, horrendous. The collar was always itchy. Didn't like it. And I know I listened to Alan's, of course, reminds me of Big Haley's header. Of course it does. Who crossed it for Haley? Was it Walters?
Walters.
Slips. Yeah. He slips and crosses it with the left. Haley puts that header in. I'm talking about going mental when that goal goes in, but I never liked that shirt. Hated it. Actually detested it. Hated the feel. Hated Admiral. Didn't like the collar. What the fuck have we got a wood effect for on a Rangers shirt? What's that all about? Look at what the fuck? An oak effect? It's pathetic. Honestly. I think it because it took over the best ever shirt. And Don't like it. And listen, I might be wrong. Did McCoist get a bad injury that season or something? And it reminds me of my hero not playing much, getting a bit fat, looking a bit older. I always thought Ali McCoist was a god. I wanted to be Ali McCoist. He was the most handsome man I'd ever seen. And I always remember that shot being, oh, Ali McCoist is looking a wee bit fat and old now. And I didn't like it. And McCoist didn't play much. And I think Mo Johnson played a fair few games wearing that shirt as well, maybe. I just remember McCoist not playing and me being annoyed about that.
Yeah.
And it
was the start of the Johnston-Haitley sort of partnership.
Yeah.
And McCoist was on the bench a lot. And
didn't like it. And I didn't like the feel. Didn't like the collar. I cannot believe we're even talking about a Ranger strip having a wood effect in the background. Can you imagine we release something with a wood effect in the background now?
This was the first season that we had the style of badge over the top of the Rangers badge.
There's another group going round right now that have got that wee thing above that. Nah, don't like it. Don't like Admiral. What the fuck? We're Glasgow Rangers. Admiral. Did Leeds not have an Admiral strip?
Yep.
Am I right? Aye.
Yep.
Did Leeds have an Admiral strip when we beat them that time? Maybe.
Yep.
Aye. Yep. That. Don't like it. Don't like it. Like McCoon's lager, of course. Don't like that collar, Brian.
I like the wee bit here though.
No. Geese. That's horrendous. That was Admiral trying too hard. Admiral were trying. Oh shit! What are we going to do? We'll put their badge in the back.
You really went for this one, haven't you?
Yeah. Told you. When you asked me to do that, I said I don't have a top 5, but I'll talk about my worst one for about an hour if you want. Yeah, don't like it. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I don't care if we won games in it, and hey, I celebrated those games. Oh, it was jack. See, even looking at that, it makes me feel a bit itchy. Honestly, mate.
Of all the talks we've had, I thought, well, he won't pick this one. He won't pick that one. And then the selections came through. I just went, "What are you on? You're having a laugh."
And I'm like, of course, I said to you, of course, this is the worst strip. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to have anybody say anything other than the 80, 70, 91, the Umbro one's the best ever. Mm-hmm. And I cannot hear anyone tell me that anything other than that shirt's the worst. Of course, you're going to get everybody pitting in the ones with Big Mojney or Nicky Law or Nicky Clark or David Templeton. I can see all those shirts and they give me the heebie-jeebies. Mm-hmm. The plain blue with the Tennant. Horrible, right? However, I had to be true to myself. I always say that's my worst ever shirt because I hated the feeling of it.
Well, that's what it's about. And despite my disbelief and just bemusement of you picking this, but that it's your show, so you've selected it.
Yes, it's an abomination.
But we were successful in this top, weren't we?
That's not what it's about. It's about how I felt. We had
I'm trying.
Wood effect in the background of that shirt. What the fuck? Can you imagine we released that this year in Twitter? Castor done the wood effect range. Fucking hell. Honestly. It's a disgrace. But yes.
Did you like the away top of this?
Well, Brian, the away top was
white with the blue and red.
Blue and red. There.
The two stripes on their shoulder.
Tried to get that as a retro myself. Actually, I was going to buy that one, so actually I did like it. Actually looked at it, probably swayed whether it was probably would maybe be my 7th best top because you know my 6th is the other red one with the black and the big RFC on it. Mm-hmm. But that away top, loved it actually. But that's not what it's about. It's about the worst ever, and that is the worst ever strip we brought out. And I can't believe you're sitting there, Brian. Say this to yourself when you go off. We had a wood effect in the background of one of our shirts, and you were all saying it's amazing.
I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm just not saying it's the worst. There's far worse.
It's far worse. Everybody knows that. Anyway, that was brilliant.
But anyway, that was your shirt selection. Is that changing anytime soon, or is that it?
Yeah, listen. The white shirt's up there now. The anniversary shirt for me. I'll probably break my not buying a shirt ever to buy that shirt. Obviously, just kick about the house and do the pods and that. But my birthday's in 8 days. If anybody listening to this wants to buy me, send me. But I said to my wife and the girls, I want that for my birthday. So I'll see if they can deliver the goods for me because that's by far the best shirt I've seen for years. The one you're wearing just now also swayed me. but we had to go and fucking wear it, didn't we? Against
Never had to get beat.
It's like the purple shirt reminds me of the bad times, although I loved it. The red one, the grasshopper shirt we're doing in the competition, loved it. Reminds me of bad times. Love that one, but it reminds me of a bad game.
Yeah.
But the white one, I've said I hope we don't wear it, but I've heard we perhaps are going to wear it. I would love us to wear it maybe in the last day of the season to lift the trophy.
It'll be something. I would imagine it'll be something like that,
or a cup final. However,
possibly.
what a shot! Have you? I mean, I hope that they've been listening to the fans, because people have been putting out versions of that for the last year or so.
Yes.
And I'm glad Castor eventually listened to the fans and done it. They're an absolute, what a money maker it is, because I can't see MD not buying it.
I would totally agree. And as I think Alan said in his pod, he's not been totally enamoured with the Castor stuff, but I would say this one's topped the lot.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't like the colours of Castor. I wouldn't say they're royal. It's royal blue. It's a very pale version of blue. Everything seems to be very pastel-y. But the white, the Gallant Pioneers within it, they've nailed it. They've nailed it 100% with it. I even like the buttons being there, because it is.
I was just about to say.
Being true to that shirt, which, funnily enough, isn't even a Rangers shirt. And we never ever wore it, and it was something to take a picture with it, a rugby or a cricket club or something. But it's still big in our history, that shirt, because of the picture.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed the trip down nostalgia lane. Brought back a few memories for you.
Yeah,
back to your childhood.
I said
you enjoyed it.
You kicked that off. I don't think I'd be able to do this with you, because I don't really have much to say about any of the shirts.
No, but here we go. But no, Jamie, thanks for coming on and selecting the shirts, even though we had a wee disagreement at the end there. But it's your show, so that's the way it is. But thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, folks. Cheers, Brian.
Cheers.